Okay, so you've done the research. You understand why we need an event like this and how it's going to benefit our community. But now you need to convince the decision makers that we should go ahead and actually run this major event. So that is the purpose of your pitch. Whether it's a written proposal or verbal, we need to make sure that we do it well, get approval. Otherwise, we need to go back to the drawing board and try again. So this screencast is going to guide you through some of the key things that you need to think about and do in order to get this done right the first time. So our learning intention is to learn to write or speak for a specific purpose. That purpose in this case is convincing decision makers to go ahead with our proposal. Our success criteria is that we can use the research already completed together with planning to create a persuasive product that should convince school leadership to approve my major project. So it's persuasive writing or speaking that we are doing. So in the initial overview of this 2-week block, we explained that each task has a bit of a breakdown of time. It is an estimate only. It is not set in concrete. You may spend more time on one stage than another, but the written instructions break down the task into these 6 stages, and you may spend about 2 hours on stage 1, where you build understanding and make your plan. About 4 hours on doing the research that's required to, for example, come up with a reasonable budget, because you need to know how much stuff costs. So this is a rough guide and a rough plan, and it's outlined in the written instructions that take you through this task as well. For support, you do have a step-by-step guide, which is your logbook. So unlike some of the other tasks that you've done, this one you actually write directly into. We will give you a hard copy of it. It has space for you to write things out, and so you do that as you go along, and obviously you submit that at the end. So it is broken down into those 6 stages, and it tells you what you need to research, do, or write, and gives you space to actually write it. There's a short explainer video which sits next to this one on the website. It gives some really good hints and tips and explains things in pretty simple terms. So you may find that one works better for you than this one. That's okay. Use either, use both, use whatever you need to. But please don't forget you have a team of teachers that are involved in this applied learning project. They all want you to succeed, and they are here to help you. So use your logbook, use the explainer video, use this screencast, use your teachers, use everything to be successful. Let's walk through the stages quickly. Understand and plan. So read the information that's in the booklet. What does our event need to include? So in your logbook, outline your understanding of the task. Why are you doing a pitch? Why are you doing a proposal? What is it you need to include in there? What are the key steps to make it good and make an effective proposal? What's your role in it? And how are you going to make your proposal high quality? Who is your audience? What do they want to hear? What do they need to know? So this is literally thinking about who you're talking to, what you need to include, understanding the task, because then once you understand it, you can target your research and do it intelligently to come up with a good product. Stage 2 is to do that research. So you're proposing a major investment in both time and money for a big event. You need to back it up with some research. So you've already done some of this work. Use that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So why is mental health an issue? Why is it important? Could awareness events like this actually help? What else about it might help? Does bringing community together for a big event like this, where people get together in the same shared space, maybe share a meal together, does that maybe have a positive impact? Could that be something you include in your proposal? Maybe. What do similar events include? So research other events that have happened like this. What have they got in there? Why do they have those things? Should we be including those in our proposal? Do your research to make sure that you make a high quality proposal. Your event design. Again, your logbook will guide you through what you need to do. Come up with a name for the event. We haven't decided on one at this stage, but maybe we'll pick the best one out of what all of you come up with. But name the event. What are we going to call this thing? What will you include in your event? You've seen what other events do because you've done your research. What's our event going to do? What might it have that maybe makes it stand out, makes it different? Where are we going to run it? When are we going to run it? Who's going to be involved? Obviously, you all are all going to be involved. Our staff need to be involved. Our school will be involved, but who else? How's it going to help? What is the predicted impact? You've done the research into the why. This is now the how. How's it going to help? How's it going to make a difference? Stage 4. Again, your logbook has a section to help guide you through what you need to do, but you need to do some math modeling and you need to do a detailed budget for your event. So you're seeking approval for both the time and the money. You estimate how much everything's going to cost and provide this to the decision makers. Analyze the accuracy of the data and look for ways you could make it better. So you're estimating, but is there a way you could actually make that estimate more accurate? Think about that, all right? And you'll be guided through that each step of the way. So using the planning that you did on day one, look at your timeline. So also you're mapping out as part of your budget, you're budgeting time. How long do you need for each stage as we work our way through the project? How do you know? Stage 5 is actually the proposal itself, where you write the proposal. So you've done some background, you've understood the task, you've done some research, you've created a budget, you've got a bit of an idea of how much time you need to budget for and how much money you need to budget for. Now you need to put it all together so you can propose it. 2 options. You can do a written formal proposal. That's option 1. It's got to be detailed, complete, and persuasive. You are trying to convince people to say yes. There is a defined structure, which is in your logbook. So read that information, make sure you have each and every section, make sure that it's detailed, make sure that it's well written, make sure you proofread it. And if you're unsure, ask for help. Because remember, if your proposal is declined, in other words, they say no, you have to do it again. Avoid that. Don't get caught out. Ask the questions now. Do the hard work now so you don't have to do it again later when you should be working on the next thing. Option 2 is a verbal pitch presentation. So there'll be a panel of people listening to your presentation. So instead of, you still need to do some writing because you need to make a plan so you know what to say, but you're saying it verbally. It needs to be detailed, complete, and persuasive. Again, you're still trying to convince people to say yes. It also still has a defined structure. The logbook tells you what that is. You will need to use some visuals. You might choose to use PowerPoint. You might use posters. You can decide how you want to do that, but you want some visuals to support what it is that you're actually saying. You don't just want to stand in front of people and have them stare at you. You want them to actually have something to look at. Again, each section is explained in the logbook. And again, if you're not sure, ask, because if your proposal is knocked back, you will have to do it again. Before you do your verbal presentation or before you submit your written presentation, I've already touched on this, but proofread it. Is there enough persuasion in there? If someone else was, maybe ask someone in the class to read your proposal or to listen to your pitch as you practice it. Have you convinced them? Can they give you feedback to make it more persuasive? You've got time, remember, you have 20 hours or so to work on this. So prepare it and then get someone else to have a look or a listen. Get their feedback and make it better. Have you included every section? Have you missed anything? For the oral pitch, make sure you practice it before you present. You don't want to stand there and just read it. You want to know what you're going to say and be able to make it more of a conversation as best as you can. So practice it over and over. And again, use your fellow classmates. Let them listen to it. See what they think. Make sure you have included everything. Make sure typos are fixed. Make sure it's quality. I've already said this. If your pitch fails, then you will have to do it again. So do the work, make it good, and you don't do it once. Save yourself the time and the heartache. So you have about 20 hours minimum. It depends how long it also took you to do the why and the what. You've got 40 hours total across 2 weeks. So plenty of time. But if you waste it, it'll catch you out. You might think, I've got tons of time, so I'm just going to take it easy. It will catch you out. You'll end up rushing. Then your proposal might not be as good as you think. Then you're going to have to do it again. You've got enough time if you use your time wisely. So do the work, do it properly. There are no excuses for making a poor proposal given the amount of time you have. But remember, this is applied learning. You manage your time. You need to make sure you stay on track. Meet the requirements. You need to meet the deadlines. If you work with the time available, you will get your proposal approved. If you waste it, well, that's where the risks happen. Throughout the task, refer to the logbook. It will guide you through step by step by step. Refer to the explainer video. Come back and watch the screencast again. Ask your teachers for help at any time. It's literally what they're there for. Good luck, and let's get a really good event off the ground. There's a reminder of what we were hoping to learn from doing this task. So keep reflecting on that, because remember, you have to do your critical reflection journal as well, but that will be guided too in your Google Classroom. But did we achieve this goal? Let's see how we go.